Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my unpopular opinions about school. Now, before I start this video, I just want to say these are my opinions and you don't have to agree with them. And yeah. Also, this information is based on what I've experienced in school, and so everybody's different, everybody's had different experiences, and this is basically my experience with school and my personal school, so keep that in mind. I'm doing online school this year, so some of them are online school and some of them are just like in school in general. So before I start this video, make sure to check my description for resources for Black Lives Matter. And without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. So the first thing has to do with online school, and it's that online school isn't as easy as it seems. Yeah, like the assignments can be easy, but like the whole concept of having to self-discipline yourself to do your work and not be in a classroom where a teacher's telling you to do your work, it's way harder. And I feel like there's more work assigned and it's just harder to work in a setting that's not school, because I know personally it's really easy to just forget about an assignment, and it's not because you didn't want to do it. Well, you probably don't want to do it, but it's not because you didn't want to do it, it's just because you weren't reminded to do it because you can't remember. So yeah, and it's hard to sit online for 3 to 6 hours depending on what your school is, listening to a teacher talk about school and boring stuff, and you're not getting up and walking to another classroom, and you're not moving around, you're just sitting in one spot for this whole time. Even if there is small breaks, it's still a lot. And yeah, next is about the teaching pattern that they teach kids in school or students in school. Is they teach you to memorize and not actually learn the subject. So for a test per se, you are learning to memorize the subject before to pass the test and not to actually take in the information and implement it into your life. And so you're not getting much because you'll just forget it in a couple months because you're not taking in the information, you're just memorizing it for a couple weeks, and then you're like, oh, I passed the test, I don't need to worry about it anymore. Next is they praise students more who show up to school than kids who actually excel and do well in school. And that doesn't mean getting all A's, it just means doing well, getting your assignments done, turning everything in and all that stuff. They praise kids who show up to class every day, and it's not right. And the reason they mostly do that is because they get money for kids showing up to school every day, but a kid's health should be more important than their education, because if somebody's really sick, you rather them come to school, get other people sick, feel horrible, not learn anything because they're feeling horrible, and maybe be a distraction in class because they're coughing constantly. Or if their mental health is bad, you want them to come to school when they're feeling horrible, or let them stay home for a day or two and then come back and be ready to learn and catch up on all their assignments. So that's just my opinion. Next is the concept of grades is stupid, because we are ranked on this level of getting an A or an F, and if you don't get this, you're seen as a failure, when in reality it's just based on your ability to answer 20 multiple choice questions. Yeah, people who get A's are smart, I'm not saying they aren't, but a kid who gets lower grades shouldn't be deemed as dumb because they can't answer a certain question just because that's not their learning pattern, because we are taught a specific way of learning and not everybody learns that way, and that's not how everybody learns. And so they are seen as dumb or just below everyone else just because they can't do this certain thing. And it should be based on if they're taking in the information, if they're actually just being able to learn how to either copy or cheat or just be able to memorize something for a couple weeks. Next is they should bring back classes like home ec and workshop and stuff like that, because I feel like it's just good skills to know, And I feel like it's just like not just home ec and workshop, just classes like that, just like funner hands-on classes that teach you about things that you're gonna be using in real life. Like, I know workshop isn't the thing you would use every day, but like if you want to know how to make something, I mean, like that's cool to learn how to make like a birdhouse or something like that. And home ec, it could teach you how to bake in the specific ways and how to be safe, because everybody needs to know how to learn how to cook and the safe way to do it. And it's just like, I feel like those kinds of classes should be brought back, and not those two specific, but like classes along those lines. Next is, I think mental health comes before grades, because personally I stress a lot about my grades. Like, I try really hard to get my grades up and try and have good grades, and I feel like I don't prioritize my mental health before my grades, and that's my downfall sometimes, because I have a better mental health than having better grades. Because if I'm happier and I'm getting lower grades than I would if I'm stressing myself every day, and I feel like that's more beneficial, and we need to offer more resources for mental health. And so I also think that saying you stayed home from school because your mental health isn't all right should be a valid excuse for an excused absence or a reason not to show up to school. Even if it is online school, if you're not feeling it, you're not going to be taking in any information or learning or doing assignments, because you're going to be feeling horrible. Next, I feel like extracurriculars are almost the same benefits or even more than academics. They have more benefits for kids and students in their life. So like a sport them can get them into a career, leadership clubs, stuff like that can teach them skills that they're going to be using their whole life. Communications, like socializing, learning how to be more confident, and math or science and history, stuff like that. Those are important, and I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying that I feel like extracurriculars are bashed on by people who don't understand that they are like right here with academics, and I feel like you need an equal balance to get the full experience out of, get the full like experience out of your school career. Next is, don't make fun of like teachers or bash teachers, because it's not cool. And if you're doing it just because you think it'll make you cool, it's not. And people who have like human decency know it's not. And I understand if a teacher's not treating you with respect, you're not gonna want to either. But if that's not the case, because most of the time it's not, and people are just making fun of their appearance and stuff like that, and it's just because you may not like their class and other people don't like that teacher either, you don't put them down just because you want to look cool, because like, you wouldn't want to be in their shoes where people are making fun of how you look, making fun of how you dress. And it's hard sometimes. School is hard, and I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying there's no reason to make fun of them if you don't have a valid reason why you're doing so. I don't think there's any valid reason to make fun of them. I understand if there's not mutual respect, but I feel like you could find ways around that than bashing them, I guess. Yeah. Next is, this is for the beginning of the year. When you are starting school, don't buy a bunch of unnecessary supplies. Like, I know when you're younger, it's like fun to buy a bunch of cool supplies and like all the new fancy stuff, but in reality, you don't use that much when you're older. I'm not that much older, but I mean, you really only need like notebooks, paper, maybe pens, most likely, and pencils and stuff like that, and that's all you need. I feel like on the first couple days of school, you only really need paper and pencils and stuff, and then they'll give you the list of things you actually need to buy, and then they'll give you a couple days to actually go out and buy those things. But I feel like you want to buy a cute notebook because that helps you be motivated. If you want to buy cute highlighters, you do you. That's what you want, but don't just do it if you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna study so hard this year, I'm gonna make really cute notes, and then in reality you don't actually do it. Because I know you say you're gonna do something in summer because you have all this time in your hands, but then when school starts, it's a completely different story. Next is in online classes, I think online classes are beneficial, like the face-to-face ones, but I feel like most of my classes, my teachers, like some of them, not all of them, but some of them just waste their time, waste my time and waste their time just talking about stuff we already went over, or just talking about random stuff, or just getting distracted easily. And it's just kind of, I guess, annoying, because it's like I could have been gone earlier if you were just going to talk about all the useful stuff at the end, but I feel like they should be focusing on more on the teaching thing and the discussing what we have to get done and how, and explaining what it is exactly, and not like all this slow stuff going over our homework and stuff, because you can just grade the assignment and put a note in the assignment and do that. And if you want to do a personal meeting with the person, do that, and not like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't think online classes are a waste of time, but I think in online classes there's wasted time there that could be used for more teaching, instead of just talking and rambling on about nonsense. Next, and this is for, I guess, PE, because that's part of school, for most people. You shouldn't make like girls run in PE, or like run the mile, or do any sort of physical activity other than like maybe walking when they're on their periods, because sure, sometimes people just fake it and say, oh, I'm on my period, I don't want to run. Yeah, but you don't know anybody's situation, and you don't know how bad they're in pain or how bad it is. And especially if you're a guy PE teacher, like, you shouldn't be making a girl run if you've never hands-on experienced it. And you can't like compare it. If you're a girl PE teacher, you can't compare it to like yours, because that's different. And it's really hard. And I've never personally not wanted to run, but I know there's people who have really bad ones and they're forced to run and stuff. But I mean, you can always make them make it up if you really want them to run, or you can make them do an alternative thing. So that's just my 2 cents. Next is about dress codes, and I think dress codes are biased to girls. Like, what's wrong with a shoulder? Like, I'm sorry, like, my school isn't the strictest. Like, it's not that strict when it comes to dress code, but I know a lot are. And you can't show your shoulder. And like, I don't understand spaghetti straps, why you can't wear them. Like, if your bra strap is showing, I don't know why that's unprofessional. And I guess it's an undergarment, but like, guys sag their pants and you can see their whole underwear. So like, I don't understand how an elastic band is, or like, even like, I don't understand why crop tops, like, if it's just like your small little sliver of your tummy, even if it's not a crop top, why is that a problem? Like, everybody has belly button. Like if it was like showing off, like, I don't know, like, I don't understand how it's distracting. I personally don't have very strict dress code, but like, I know they're just biased and they are focused more towards girls instead of, they're focused more towards girls than guys, and I feel like that's a little messed up, but I mean, my opinion. Next, especially in online school, Quizlet and photo math are your best friends. So whether you were doing it for cheating or if you're doing it to actually learn because your teacher doesn't know how to teach, depending on your situation, these are your best friend. Quizlet helps with studying if you want to study. And also, teachers sometimes use those as their quizzes. So you could probably find answers there, but it helps with studying certain subjects and actually helps you learn. And yeah, and photo math, it shows you the answer, but it also shows you the steps. So if you need to show your work, and also just shows you, okay, I did it and I got it wrong. Why is this right? And stuff like that. So it's not just copying, but it shows you what what you did wrong and stuff like that. And they're free. So like, if you have trouble with math, it shows you how to do it. And it shows you sources and stuff like that. So yeah, the last one is if there's a due date for work, like for kids to complete the work, there should be a due date for teachers to turn in, like grade it. Because like, I understand like some things, like I know teachers have lives and they have things they need to do, but sometimes it's excessive and it takes like over a month or a month and a half for somebody to grade like one assignment, and it's kind of excessive. And because they usually just grade everything at once and then turn it in all at once, which is a really bad way to grade, because an assignment could be from 2 months ago and you don't even remember what you did, and you can't even see the assignment because they graded it from so long ago. And I feel like that's not a good way to grade. I feel like you should turn in every assignment within like 1 to 2 weeks max, depending on what the assignment is. But if it's like a long essay and you have to read like 100 people's pages, I understand it takes time, but like don't take 2 months or longer, because that's like, it makes the students stress out more, and then the parents are like, oh my god, what happened? And the students like, they didn't even know because it was from so long ago. I try to word all of those in the best way. Probably through editing I have put in a little bit more, because I may have said a little bit things wrong that weren't completely what I meant to say. But that was my unpopular opinions. If you guys want me to do more for a specific thing, like pop culture, TV shows, stuff like that, comment that down below. I'm going to be moving houses soon, so you guys will be getting that content. I upload every Thursday and Sunday. I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below videos you would like to see from me next. And I hope you guys are having a good day whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys all later. Bye!